Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom to the Torah tribes, Yasha Allah. Giving, of course, all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Mahashiach, Yahweh. That's all praises, honor, glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh. In the name of his own begotten son, Yahweh. Right, this is the brother Yasha Allah coming back, y'all, with yet another video through the Spirit and power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh. All right, so basically, I'm going to get straight into this. All right, this is going into when is Yahweh Shah coming back? Right? When is Yahweh Shah coming back? Because we talk about, the end days, right? We're living in the end times. So prophecy is one of the things that we should be, well-rounded in, you know what I'm saying, that we should be talking about, right? Because let me just get this, introduction, right? Let me get this in the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 1, right? Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High. So we have to give our mind to the law of the Most High. The law can be found in the first, chiefly in the first 5 books of Moses, right? Which is what? Genesis, Exodus, right? Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, right? That's where the laws, statutes, and commandments, and the judgments can be found. We have to give our mind to that as well, because guess what? As much as we have to be studying prophecy, as much as we have to be studying the precepts and stuff like that, we have to be keeping the commandments first and foremost, right? That's what's really going to get us out of here. The grace of the Most High, the mercy of the Most High, in our faith and our works, right? Like it says in the book of 2 Ezra chapter 9, right? And all that shall be saved by their faith and by their works, right? Briefly paraphrasing, right? Let's keep going though. Sirach 39 and 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof, right? Will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient. So you got to seek out the wisdom of all the ancient as well, right? The wisdom can be found in what? You have something called the books of wisdom, like Wisdom of Solomon, Proverbs, Psalms, Sirach, the wisdom of Sirach, right? Ecclesiastes, right? Even Song of Solomon, right? But those are the books, those are entitled the books of wisdom. And with these books of wisdom, you can find a whole lot of wisdom, knowledge, understanding if the Lord bestows it onto you, right? And really, chiefly this whole Bible, right? Chiefly this whole Bible, really on a deeper sense, this is the book of wisdom, right? It says, and be occupied in prophecies. So we have to be occupied in prophecies as well, measuring the times, right? Like it says in the book of 2 Ezra chapter 9, verses 1 on down. Measure thou the time diligently within itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, right? So we have to be occupied in prophecies, seeing what time we're living in, right? Seeing what's going to come forth on the earth, right? Because the prophecy foretells the future, right? And yes, the Bible has prophecies, right? And we're going to focus on the prophecies about Yahawashi, so-called second returning, right? But let's go to the book. I just want to kick it off with, let's go to Revelation, right? Chapter 1 and verse 7. To establish that Yahawashi is coming back the second time. He came back, he came the first time when he walked as Mahashiach Yahawashi 2,000 years ago. But he's going to come again, right? Revelation chapter 1 verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds. Who is the he? Talking about Yahawashi, the Son of the Most High. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. So every eye is going to see Yahawashi when he returns, right? And they also which pierced him, letting you know that the people who pierced Yahawashi are on this earth right now. Because who pierced Yahawashi? It was the Romans, right? Those that killed Yahawashi, right? 2,000 years ago, right? So even those that pierced Yahawashi are going to see him, all right? And the Lord is going to judge them and destroy them. It says, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. So everybody, and this word for kindreds is in the Greek, it's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. And Israel is going to bemoan and wail for Yahawashi when he comes back as well, all right? Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 3, right? Revelation chapter 3, verse 11. It says, behold, I come quickly. So Yahawashi saying that he comes quickly. All right. It says, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Right. Let's get another precept. Revelation chapter 22, right, in verse 12. It says, and behold, I come quickly. Right. Who's speaking? This is Yahawashi, right? He's saying, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. All right. So he's going to come and render unto every man according to his work and according to his labor. All right. If you have a whole list, a long history of evil works, you're going to be judged according to that. But if you have a long history of good works, you're going to be judged according to that as well. All right. Let's go to let's get another precept, right? Let's get it in the Old Testament, right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 5, right? Jeremiah 23 and 5. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper. Meaning that the Davidic, this is talking about the Davidic Messiah, who is Yahawashi, right? Letting you know that Yahawashi comes from the loins of David, according to various other precepts as well. But the Lord is saying, I will raise unto David a righteous branch, meaning that the Messiah, this righteous branch that is talking about the Messiah, is going to come from David, the lineage of David, the house of David, right? That I'll raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. That's talking about Yahawashi, right? It says what? In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. So when Yahawashi comes back, he's going to save Judah and he's going to save Israel. They're going to both dwell safely, right? It says, and this is his name whereby he shall be called the Lord our righteousness. You see that? And then as you keep reading, it lets you know that, Yahawashi is going to save his people from afar. He's going to save his people from the four corners of the earth, as well as from Babylon, right? Let's go to I had another precept, right? Let's go to Hebrews 10 and 37, right? It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 37. Right? Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 37. And it reads, for yet a little while, right? I'm gonna start at verse 36. It says, for ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, ye might receive the promise. Yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Right? So yet a little while, and he that shall come will come. He's not going to tarry. Yahawashi is coming quickly. All right. And the author of Hebrews is making reference to Yahawashi because the people at this time knew that Yahawashi is going to come back the second time. All right. They knew that. And they were hoping and waiting for that day to come so that they may see it in their lifetime. But it wasn't for them to see that in their lifetime, right? Let's go to the book of I'm gonna get another precept. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 10. But you should be getting the point, right? I'm just pulling a lot of precepts on Yahawashi coming back, right? Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 10. Behold, the Lord God will come with a strong hand, and his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. You see that? He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. Because Yahawashi, he's the chief shepherd, right? Like it says in the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, right? Yahawashi is the chief. Hold on. Let me just pull that, right? Because that also goes into Yahawashi coming back. Right? This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5. Right? 1 Peter, chapter 5. And verse 4, it says, and when the chief shepherd shall appear, who is talking about Yahawashi, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Yahawashi said that he's going to give us a crown of glory if we endure to the end and be faithful unto death. That's Revelation 2 and 10, right? So Yahawashi, he's that chief shepherd, and we're his sheep, all right? That's why the Lord said, I am not come, in Matthew chapter 15 verse 24, he said, but he answered and said, I am not come but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We're called the lost sheep. But it says what? Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 11. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm and carry them in his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are with young. You see that? What does that mean? Put him in his bosom, meaning he's going to protect us, right? When Yahawashi saves and delivers his elect, we're going to be protected. You know, and Lord willing, we're part of that number, right? That gets saved by Yahawashi. Let's go to right? And one more precept on that, right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 16 and verse number 15. It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So Yahawashi said, behold, I come as a thief, man. Yahawashi is coming like a thief in the night. And you don't know when the thief is coming, right? You don't know when a thief is coming to your house to break in, right? And steal your goods, right? And maybe even kill you, right? You don't know when a thief is coming. A thief comes when you least expect it, man, right? You have home invasions. People don't expect that. People, someone to just open their door, right, and start shooting, you know, or start, robbing the place, right? So a thief comes when you least expect it, right? And so that's how, in that same manner, Yahawashi is coming like that too, right? Yahawashi, he's coming like a thief, man. So we don't really, I say that to say, right, we don't really know exactly the day or the hour when Yahawashi is coming back, but we do know that he's coming like a thief. And we do know that there is a order to prophecy, right? We do know, we do know that he's going to come after, like, certain things need to happen on the earth before he comes back, right? That's what I'm trying to say, right? Certain prophecies must be fulfilled before Yahawashi comes back. Now, the Lord, he can do what he wants, right? But that's just what he put in the book. And that's the word that he said, right? That, you know, there is the chronology of prophecy, you know? So come and let's go through it, right? Let's go through it. So that's the big question, right? When is Yahawashi coming back, right? When? People are talking about he's coming back. Well, I don't really see him, right? I don't see the chariots. You guys been saying this for 20 years, 30 years, but he's not here yet. So let's go through it, right? Let's see what the Lord said. Let's go to Acts chapter 1 and verse 9. It's the book of Acts, chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 5, right? It says, for John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit not many days hence. So this is Yahawashi talking to the masses of the people in Jerusalem, right? I believe this is Jerusalem, right? I'll just say Israel, all right? But it says what? Verse 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? So they asked Yahawashi, okay, so, you know, Yahawashi, are you going to get the kingdom of Israel? Right? Because the kingdom, they already knew that the kingdom belongs to Israel. They already knew that, right? But they were wondering when, you know, because when Yahawashi comes back, that's what he's coming to do. According to the prophecies, he's going to restore the kingdom back to Israel. All right, when he comes back, he's going to destroy the wicked. He's going to put down the wicked. He's going to subdue them, and he's going to raise up his people. All right, he's going to raise up his people, the nation of Israel, right, and set them up as the hegemony of the world, right, forever and ever. All right, that's restoring the kingdom back to Israel, giving us this first dominion, like the Lord said, right? But it says what, verse 7? And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father had put in his own power. So Yahawashi said that, look, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not for you to know the seasons, right? It's not for you to know the seasons, right? Meaning what? To know when I'm coming back, right? It's not for you to know that. It's not for you to know when the day when all hell breaks loose. It's not for you to know that, right? Certain things, they're not revealed unto the sons of men, right? Not everything is revealed unto us, right? For example, like the seven thunders. Don't try to break down the seven thunders because we don't have that, right? That's part of the hidden manna, all right? So when Yahawashi is coming back, we don't know the exact day, but we do know the seasons, right? And we can line it up according to the chronology of prophecy and with the prophecies and the words that the Most High said, right? We can kind of, we know that Yahawashi is near, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 24, right? It's the book of Matthew chapter 24, right? In verse 36, it says, but of that day, when Yahawashi comes back and when all hell breaks loose, right? But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So only the Father knows, right? Not even Yahawashi, not the angels, not man. Only the Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. He only knows when Yahawashi is coming back, right? That's it. Only the Father, because the Father, he's omnipotent, omniscient, right? He understands and knows all things because everything is on his timeline, right? It's not on our timeline. It's on his timeline. He sees the future because he already has ordained the future from the beginning. He already knows when Yahawashi comes back down to the very millisecond, down to the second, down to the minute, down to the hour, right? Yahawashi, or Slaki, the Most High God, Yahweh, he knows when his son is coming back. Why? Because he already planned all this stuff out, right? He already planned all this stuff out. So he already knows, man, right? Let's go to the book of, right, what I had in mind. All right, let's go to the book, Second Ezra. Let's go to Second Ezra chapter 4. It's a book of Second Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 36. It says, and unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in a balance. So the Most High God weighed the world in a balance, right? Everything's in the balance with the Most High, right? It says, by measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So everything's on a ticking clock with the Most High, right? Everything's on the timeline. By measure hath he measured the times. He measured the times already. He already knows when Yahawashi is coming back. And that's the Father, though, right? But we don't know the exact day. That's why the Lord said, let's go back to the book of Matthew chapter 24, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 24 and verse 44, right? It says, Salah, verse 42, right? It says, watch therefore, since you don't know when I'm coming, you don't know the exact day, right? Watch therefore, you got to watch. We have to be watching, right? For ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. That's why we have to remain watching in this thing, right? Watching what? Watching for the prophecies, because that's our only way of knowing when Yahawashi is coming back, of kind of, stipulating that, okay, look, we're living in the end days. If we're living in the end days, Yahawashi can come back at any moment. When I say when Yahawashi comes back, remember, I just mean that basically the prophecies of all hell breaking loose. Because remember, certain things have to happen before Yahawashi comes back, right? And we're going to go through that too, right? So let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 24. Let's just get that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. And I'm going to start at verse 28, all right? Matthew chapter. Okay, first I'm going to start with Revelation 7, right? For Revelation 7. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. So what is this wind? This wind is talking about the destruction, right? Now, the 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, basically symbolic for these angels holding back the destruction, right? They're holding back the destruction, all right? What is this destruction? The destruction that the Most High is going to use to destroy the earth, right? And the inhabitants thereof, right? That's what that's going into. All right. Let's get this in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, and verse 1. Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. You see that? A destroying wind. All right, so let's go back to this Revelation chapter 7 verse 2. So these angels, they're not going to release that wind. They're not going to release that destruction until what? Verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, right? Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And these angels, the destroying wind, right? Or this destruction, rather, is not just going to hurt trees, right? And in the sea, right? This is just going to symbolically going into the nations, because people are referred to as waters, right? Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 15. Revelation 17:15. And he saith unto me, the waters, right, which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So waters can be referred to as people, right? You read that in the book of Psalms, right? You read that in Psalms where David refers to as ungodly men as a flood. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get this in the book of Isaiah chapter 17 and verse 12, right? All right, I'll read it. It says, woe to the multitude of many people which make a noise like the noise of the seas, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. The nation shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but God shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased at the chaff of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing before the whirlwind. You see that? So the nation shall rush like the rushing of many waters. So the nations are referred to as waters, as a sea. You know what I'm saying? That's why you read in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, where it says, and there was no more sea, I believe, right? What does that mean? There's no more sea, meaning that the nations are put down, right? The nations are no more, right? The other nations, they're there, they're going to be there, but they're not going to be the same like as they are right now. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom of Moab is not going to be as great as it was in this present time, right? For example, all right, but let's go back to this in Revelation chapter 7. They're going to be subdued, right? This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So the 144,000 within the 1/3, basically the 1/3, the elect, they have to be sealed first, right? They have to be sealed first before all hell breaks loose. When they're sealed, boom, that's when all hell is going to break loose. But until that time, we still have to wait for that day, right? That day to come. Verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed in 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. You see that? And yes, the 144,000 who are basically the top of the elect, right? Yet they're only Israelites. The 1/3 as a whole are only Israelites. That's in Zechariah 13 verse 7 on down. All right, going into the 2/3 and the 1/3 prophecy. All right, because 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to be cut off and die. All right, they're going to be cut off and die, but 1/3 of Israel is going to be saved. That's the in verse 9 in Revelation 7 and 9. That's the innumerable multitude, right? That's the great multitude that's going into the 1/3. All right. So before Yahawashi comes back, and before even all hell breaking loose, like martial law being implemented, right? major famines, major pestilences, right? Or basically, the electricity going out, World War III, and really, um, the fifth seal, right? Until these things happen, or until basically the 1/3, the elect is sealed, then that's not going to happen, all right? Until the elect are sealed, right? Let's go to so right after the elect are sealed, that's when Jacob's trouble is really going to be implemented, right? Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7, all right? Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Right? It's going to be the time of Jacob's trouble. Right after the elect are sealed, then Jacob's trouble is going to be kicking off. Right? That's when there's no food, there's no water. Right? That's when the electricity is out. That's when all hell is literally breaking loose throughout the four corners of the earth, right? That's Jacob's trouble. But, Israel, the 1/3 is going to be saved out of that Jacob's trouble, right? But it has to happen before Yahawashi comes back. Now between Slok, let me just read this precept first, right? Let's go to Revelation 3 and 10. It says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation." What's the hour of temptation? That's the tribulation, right? Because a lot of people, all of us are going to be put to the test, right? Namely, the servants of the Most High, right? We're going to be put to the test, right? And that's the final exam, basically, right? That's Jacob's trouble. Are you going to endure, right? Because we could be in a damn wilderness. We could be without food for 3 days, We could be starving to death. We could have a certain disease. So it's up to, it's really up to the Lord, but, it's up to us in this carnal level to endure all of that in order for us to be saved. Because in Mark chapter 13 and verse 13, it says, "And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." Right? It says, "I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." So Jacob's trouble, it's to try us, and it's to kill also off the wicked, right? The wicked of Israel. All right. All right, come on. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 24. All right, I want to get this real quick. This is the book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 29. It says, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days." So after the tribulation of what days? Right? Or it's like, what is the tribulation? Tribulation is going into Jacob's trouble, right? It says, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light." Now, we don't know how long Jacob's trouble is going to last. And we don't know when Yahawashi really is going to come back, within that time, right? He can come back 7 years, right? He can come back within that. He can come right back after Jacob's trouble happens. But it's all up to the Lord, right? It's all up to the Lord, and the Lord knows He knows the exact time in which Yahawashi comes back, right? It says, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken." Right? So what does that mean? The sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. That's going into the wisdom and knowledge of this world. It's going to be gone, right? It's going to be gone. It's going to be destitute, right? Esau is not going to know what to do, right? There's not going to be any electricity, right? No more phones, no more Google, right? No more Bing, you know what I'm saying? No more YouTube. It's gone, right? You can read about that in Isaiah chapter 30, all right? It says, "And the powers of the heavens shall be shaken." The powers of the heavens are going to be shaken. What does that mean? These other nations are going to be warring against each other, right? It says what? And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Right? So then you're going to see Yahawashi, right? You're going to see Yahawashi in the heavens, right? Coming with a great power and great glory with the thousands of his angels, right? Let's go to the book of Psalm chapter 68. Psalm chapter 68 verse 17. The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. See that? The chariots of the Most High God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. You see that? That's what he's going to come with, man. Right? That's what he's going to come with. Let's go to the book of, let me see if I want this right. Song of Solomon. Right? This is the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 7. I charge you, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes and by the hinds of the field, that ye stir not up, nor awake my love till she please. What does that mean? Meaning, don't seek revenge for yourself, of yourself, right, or by yourself, basically. Because remember, the Lord said that vengeance is mine; I will repay, right? Saith the Lord. So we have to wait for Yahawashi, all right, to execute vengeance, right, and deliver us. Verse 8: the voice of my beloved, behold, he cometh leaping upon the mountains, skipping upon the hills, right? What does that mean, skipping upon the hills and leaping upon the mountains? I mean, Yahawashi is going to be treading down these nations, because nations are also referred to as mountains and hills in the scriptures, right? So that's just parabolic talk going into Yahawashi treading down the nations when he comes back the second time, right? Oh, Salaki. The point was, let's go back to that though, right? Song of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse number 9. My beloved is like a roe or a young hart, meaning Yahawashi is going to be coming very, very fast, right? Behold, he standeth, behind our wall. He looketh forth at the window, showing himself through the lattice. It's going to be looking through the chariots, all right? Let's go back to this Matthew chapter 24 and verse 30. And Matthew 24 and 30 links up exactly with Revelation chapter 1 verse 7, right? And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with the sound of a great trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. You see that? And Yahawashi is going to deliver his people, right? He's going to deliver his people from the four winds of heaven, from the four corners of the earth, right? So, come, all right? And that's when Yahawashi is coming back, when the elect are sealed, and basically, and Jacob's trouble has to happen first, right? The elect must be sealed first, and Jacob's trouble must happen first, right? And then Yahawashi is going to come according to prophecy, all right? But when he's coming, we do not know the exact date. We don't know the exact year. We don't know the exact month, all right? We don't know that. It wasn't given unto us, right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7. It's not in here. If Yahawashi doesn't even know when he's coming back, how do you know? Right? If he doesn't even know himself, then how do you know? You're claiming to have some wisdom, knowledge, understanding that Yahawashi doesn't even know, right? Or doesn't even have. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 24. That which is far off and exceeding deep, who can find it out? How are you going to find it out? You can't find out the exact second, the exact day that Yahawashi is coming back, but you can perceive and also see that Yahawashi is coming quickly and that he's near, right? That's what he did give us, because the Lord did say, measure out the time diligently. All right. With that, I'm gonna close out this precept. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk, right? I want to go to Habakkuk chapter, let me see. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse number 20. It says, but Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, is in his holy temple, Let all the earth keep silence before him. Bahashima Mashak Yabashah, man. So with that, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Bahashima Mashak Yabashah. Lord willing, this was edifying. Brother Yasha Allah, Shalom.